Hello, and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of June 10th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terri Morrow.
Hello.
We're a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with a little pop culture. So I think last week you mentioned some wildlife
yes,
interactions.
Our groundhog tenants, and hoping that they would not interact with the canine tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that thumping out of my window?
A little bit.
My neighbor is doing something involving dragging a heavy object. I hope it's not a body.
A body or an ashtray.
I just watched Ripley, so that's where my thought went. Gosh, the ashtray. We'll get into it. But yes. I assume nobody's bludgeoning anybody in your backyard?
Well, I define bludgeon because the other day I look out the back window and I see one of my dogs carrying something in her mouth and scaling Mount Mulch.
Oh, no.
Still in the backyard. And then she starts digging in the top of the pile.
Oh, golly.
And so I yell at her to go away. And then I go out there and she's buried it, whatever it is, in the mulch pile. And I'm like, I'm not borrowing trouble. I'm not going to be looking for what this is.
Oh, no.
But then later that same evening, I happened to pass through the living room and the other dog is on the floor chewing on something.
Oh, no.
And I got a little closer and I realized, yeah, that is some kind of animal that has been brought in from outside. And my husband was already in bed, so I made my son, please get that out. Whatever that is, get it out.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So
inside.
Yeah. So, yes. R.I.P. to that baby bunny. That was on my living room floor.
Oh, the baby bunnies. Yes. Our dog, my girl, enjoyed her some baby bunnies and did not so much enjoy me screaming in the backyard if it had been in the house. Oh, my gosh. All right. Yeah. I thought Ripley was going to be the creepiest thing we talked about in this episode. It's this. Your dogs have outdone Tom Ripley in the department.
Yeah. And then the next day, so my son got rid of it. And then the next day, my husband went and when I told him all about it, he went and looked in the mulch pile and he couldn't find it. So either it was the same one or she just buried it, pretty far down.
Man.
But I don't think she did. So
You're
I
going to be spreading that mulch one day and there's going to be a little corpse in it.
A little skeleton in there.
Well, I think this excuses you from having anything more to do with the mulch. I think you can be done. Leave it to the menfolk.
Yep.
Man.
So that was and
doggone bunny violence is traumatic.
Also that day, that was the end of one day, and the beginning of that day started with dog throw up. So I was like, really, this is not, I'm not interested.
Was the dog throw up after the dog carnivorous activities?
No, it was before.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and it was one of those where like I spotted this little puddle and I cleaned it up, and then as I'm cleaning it up, I find more.
Dogs,
like,
ladies and gentlemen, get yourself some dogs. Dogs are the best. They're so sweet. They're so cuddly. Awesome. They shed all the bleep over your house and they eat things in the yard.
Yes.
But we love them. No, we do. It's fine. It's really fine.
I mean, my neighbor is going to be thrilled that there's one less bunny in the neighborhood because he does not like them.
Yeah. We similarly had a neighbor that was constantly plotting the demise of the baby bunnies. And I was like, baby bunnies.
I know.
And then our dog was like, okay, I got it. I got it, sir. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not quite as traumatic as the groundhog, but still
Yeah.
Baby bunnies. Little babies. Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Tiny babies.
Sensitive for this sort of thing. So our current dog has not shown any bloodthirsty instincts, but I hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
She was out on her own for an undetermined amount of time, so it's possible she picked up some bad habits, but she hasn't displayed them yet.
Right. Oh, she's like, I don't need those bunnies. I got food twice a day.
That's right. That's right. I don't need to eat me some uncooked wildlife. Though if the opportunity presented, what the heck? I'm sure. We have in our neighborhood these days the most chill bunnies I have ever seen in my life. They are not afraid. And that's generally bad with wildlife because it means they have rabies or something.
Right.
But they're just, like, you walk by them and it's just like you're walking by another person. They're just like, hi.
Hey.
We were like walking on the sidewalk. There's a bunny on the edge of the sidewalk. We walked like inches away from it and it just kept nibbling whatever it was nibbling. It was like, I see you, giant, but I don't care.
Right.
So I don't know what that means. The bunnies are getting...
Yeah.
Maybe I should have your dogs come over and put some fear into the bunny population. Come on.
Yeah, they do tend to be pretty tame.
Yeah, they're just... I think it's... I saw a turn when COVID happened and then humans were indoors for a space of time. Mm-hmm. And I think wildlife just went, okay, we got it. The outdoors is ours. We're not going to worry about you guys anymore.
Right.
So...
taking over.
Yeah, so now we have deers walking around. And we have there's a bear not far from here. Excited. The animals are just, y'all stay in your houses. Mm-hmm. Anytime.
Right.
Oh, well. Oh, well, my sympathies. And, ew!
Yeah. It was... I didn't even get close enough to, fully identify what it was. But
it was something that should not be in the house or be chewed on.
Yeah. My son did confirm that that's what it was.
Oh. Well, R.I.P. Bunny.
I know. Poor little baby.
And R.I.P. Catherine's peace of mind for the next little while.
I know, because then I'm like, is there a whole nest of them out there? Because they don't travel alone.
No, they do not.
So, for the rest of that night, for sure, I was like, you are not going back outside. I don't care if you have to be. No way.
Get them one of those little Hannibal Lecter masks you can put over them, and then they can't be picking up things to murder.
Right.
Well,
speaking of murder.
That's right. On to the comparatively peaceful conclusion of Ripley, which was half an hour longer than the usual episodes, of course.
Well, yes.
And I did check, because I usually just wait till right before the podcast to watch them, 2 hours before, to watch the two things. And I thought, you know what? They're going to make the last one longer, aren't they? And they did.
Yes.
Just so they could have lots of extra moodiness. Mm-hmm. Now with additional moodiness.
So, we have Tom, as we saw at the end of the last episode, he's made his way to Venice, and he's being Tom again for now.
Yes. And he has ensconced himself in quite the digs. Yeah,
so what's up with that? I mean, how much money does he have? And he has no way to get any more.
Well, he cashed a bleep load of traveler's checks.
I know, but he then rented this house for 6 months, and it's gigantic and comes with a staff.
Well, it's the off season, don't you know?
Right.
He got it for a song.
Just maybe budget a little differently.
I guess he's feeling pretty confident about his ability to just slide through the rest of his life.
Yeah. I mean, I of course understand why he's not staying in a hotel. Like, that doesn't work for him.
But still easy to find, apparently.
Right. Still, that
so what you want is like the squalid underbelly of Venice is where you want to stay, Tom, if you don't want to be noticed. But
right.
I guess he's just been able to manage it thus far. We were led to believe in the early episodes that Inspector Ravini was a smart guy, sharp, noticing everything. He lost all my respect in that scene where he interviews Tom.
Right.
It's
Tom
the same voice. You don't notice it's the same voice. And, you know, a wig and some facial hair. You don't notice it's the same dude.
Yeah.
Lighting and a wig is sufficient for you to think this is a completely different human.
Right.
A Dumbo, you know, that guy in Palermo who was just rolling his eyes every time Ravini called.
Right.
You could fool him because he wants to be fooled. He wants to be done with this.
Right.
You shouldn't be able to fool Ravini. He doesn't notice it's the same ashtray, which I guess one doesn't notice ashtrays particularly, but he's supposed to be a good detective. He wouldn't say, oh, I've seen one just like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not until he gets Marge's book at the very end and he finally sees a picture of Dickie. How did he never see a picture of...
Right.
You would think that... I don't know. Anyway, it seems to me that the police work in this was not immaculate. So... and Mr. Greenleaf's detective appears to know exactly what happened. And then here's Tom's story and says, okay, I'll buy that. Or, I think I've seen the equivalent scene on YouTube from the movie. And in that one, it seems very clearly like the detective knows what happened, but it's much easier for Dickie to just be dead. And he's not going to say anything about it. You know, this cleans up a problem for him. And so who the hell cares?
Right.
Not quite so clear in this one. He just switched gears, but for the moment, Tom lives on for season 2.
And so does Marge.
And so does Marge against all odds. Holy cow.
Oh, Marge. You really were...
Let me take my very drunken self to the very edge of this slippery thing. What could possibly happen?
Right. In the presence of someone who...
easy for him. Yeah.
wants me dead.
Who will just stand in the doorway and blow in my direction so that I fall in. Oh, golly. Yeah. But then she also turned out to be... I enjoyed that she's kind of digging being the girlfriend of the murderer. She sees the guy photographing her and is a little uncomfortable, and then she starts posing.
Right.
And she wants to go to all the cocktail parties where everybody wants to talk about Dickie, and even Tom is like, girl, this is bad taste. Are you sure? Right. And she's, yes. And she gets her book published.
Yeah, which also, like, the timing of that, we all know that it takes, like, years for that to happen. So is Ravini just seeing that, 2 years later?
We're supposed to believe it's 2 years later?
Right.
I don't know. Don't you think that they might sometimes rush something out because it has a connection to a salacious current event?
Yes, that is very true. You're right.
I think that's the only reason that book was published, is because it was related to a salacious current event. So
yes, for sure.
It also didn't look like it was the very finest quality, but looks like the kind of press from the kind of publisher that publishes that sort of thing. That
moves fast.
Yes. But one delightful element of this episode. Hey, John Malkovich.
John Malkovich. I loved that. Oh, my God.
Like, for one episode, really? Is that?
Yep.
And yes, it was. Good for him.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah. Looking very old for somebody who's only 6 years older than me, man. I don't know. A little upsetting, but good to see you still.
Yeah, that was great.
A guy who can get somebody a fake passport when they need one.
Passport. Mm-hmm. He's an art dealer. Sure he is.
Yeah. Like knows like.
Yes.
But, that was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
And
I enjoyed his little card carry. His case of not business cards, but calling cards, whatever. That he has one for basically every city.
Yes.
He rifles through them like, Venice. That's the one that we need right now. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun.
Yes.
Oh, did you notice that Tom got a freezer with ice?
Yes. And did you know we got to see the cat again?
That's right. Got to have a flashback to the landlady reading the letter so that we could see the cat one more time.
We could see that cat again. Love it.
And by the way, did you know that every typewriter has a fingerprint and that therefore they could tell that was typed on Dickie's typewriter?
I believe you told me that.
I know. I'm just calling back to it.
Yep.
However, they didn't have Dickie's typewriter to compare it to.
Yeah.
So how do they know that? I guess maybe they look at other letters he wrote.
Other letters. Yeah, must be. And it just
Whatever.
never occurred
Don't ask
to them
too many
that...
questions. You might get pushed into a canal.
Right. Just don't think about the fact that anybody can use a typewriter.
That's right. Well, it's a Ravini again. Question, putting his detective skills into question. Ravini saying that a thief would never think to use the same typewriter. Oh,
Yeah.
honey. If I know that about typewriters, I'm pretty sure thieves do too. Why would they not? Have they watched a movie ever? Aye. So yeah, he turned out to be not such a threat after all.
Right. But they have now, of course, left themselves prepared for season 2 because
Yes.
he has the book in his hands.
He has the book,
has-
but Tom Ripley has a new passport.
I know.
He can just vanish. Although John Malkovich made quite sure to note that he will remember that name.
Yes.
I like that name.
Yeah,
If he was going to be in the next
he's not just one
season,
episode.
that would be very cool. I'd like that character to be around. I like to see some John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Glad to know he's still working.
That was very entertaining.
So we did find out that, well, supposed from what Tom said anyway, that his parents died in a car accident when he was 5, and he was raised by his aunt. And then we had to see the dental work again.
Dental work.
Stop. You can bludgeon somebody in a rowboat. You can, kill somebody with an ashtray. But don't show us that dental work. Come on.
Stop with the dental work.
Stop with the dental work.
please.
Oh, gads. Kudos to that actress, though, who, certainly made an impression in her brief scenes.
Right. That's her only job.
Your role will involve having something inserted into your mouth and looking horrified.
She's like, yep, I can do that. No problem.
Oh, aye. So, anyway, for the time being, at least until the second season, we can imagine him off living life until the money runs out.
Just admiring his Picasso.
Yes.
Giving orders to his butler.
Right. Ingratiating himself by giving them the day off.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to not be here in case I need to use this ashtray.
But I enjoy that. I mean, Marge kind of dug being at the parties where this salacious event makes her the center of attention.
Right.
Tom is above that. We found something that Tom is above. He will bludgeon people to death, but to, party on the basis of having been involved.
Right. But he sure
that's in bad taste.
He enjoyed being invited, though. That's for sure.
I guess so. Maybe the first time. I suppose he does.
Yeah, that's true. The next
it makes
time
him uncomfortable, I think.
Right.
Even though nobody there would be upset if they found out. If they found out he was really the murderer, he would get more invitations.
They'd be like, sweet, look at this.
Oh, goodness. All different levels of social commentary here. And, some of the captions I captured this week include indistinct whooshing. Haunting choral music playing. I mean, it was choral music, but the haunting is an editorial comment.
Well, yes.
Thunder rumbling distantly.
Or there was like raspy breathing and stuff.
Yes, right.
Too. Yeah.
Enthralling music playing. Now, what is the whole? There was a whole Caravaggio thing going on,
right? Because
I guess Caravaggio killed somebody.
Yes, that came up early on. We learned that at some point when Tom was studying the man.
Identifies with him clearly.
Right.
But I have to say, when this episode opened with a bloodied body on some steps, and then the caption comes up, Roma, 1606. Really? This is why it's an hour and 16 minutes?
Right?
Come on.
Right.
Come on. Just end it, please. Move along. Let's move along, shall we?
Well, shall we move along?
Yes.
But we are going to say that after we finish with Bridgerton in a few weeks, we are going to go back and watch the 1999 movie, The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Very interested in seeing the similarities and differences between those.
Right.
But Andrew Scott did do, I think, a fairly amazing job in that role.
Yes.
So.
See how he can compare to Matt Damon.
That's right. That's right. And Dakota to Gwyneth.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bridgerton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something that will be controversial, perhaps, because fans have been looking forward, have been twittering about the carriage scene there at the end.
Right.
But for my money, taking a comment that a woman says about a piece of music, going off and having it completely rearranged and giving it to her to play on our pianoforte is greater as a romantic gesture.
Extremely romantic.
Canoodling in a carriage. Mm-hmm. Colin, you got some,
Take a note.
Yeah. I mean, I know you have a particular set of skills, sir, and, glad you finally started directing them with Penelope, but holy cow, rearranging the music for her exactly as she liked it. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Yes.
Yes.
Lord Kilmartin.
Yes. So the chatter on those characters is that people feel they are autism coded and that people are interpreting them as being autistic or on the spectrum.
And what do you think?
Which is interesting. Fine with me. It's the sitting together and specifically not talking, expressing themselves, being more interested in the music than in conversation.
Right.
I believe if you want to read that in, and that enriches the experience for you, then
do it.
It's there to be read.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. But it's not so explicit that you can't also say, well, they're just introverts or they just are not for all this society stuff and they just don't care for talking. No chit-chat. But adorable.
So are they going to, marry off 2 Bridgertons in one season?
That seems extreme.
Yeah.
I do not know. There is a spoiler about Kilmartin that I saw on Twitter that I don't know if I should share.
Oh. Yeah, don't.
But I don't think that will have anything to do with this season.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It would be... It seems like a lot of romance is on the table this season.
Well,
Didn't we usually just have one romance at a time? I don't know. Maybe we didn't. The first season was pretty busy. And,
yeah. Well, I have to say that I wasn't expecting this Penelope and Colin to happen at the end of the 4th episode. When there's still 4 more to go.
Well, yeah, is the cliffhanger, are you going to marry me or not? Because I think that we're not going to be
know the
on that
answer. Yeah.
If you just skedaddle out of the carriage and left her there panting, then that might be different. But he stated his intentions. Thank goodness, finally.
Right.
Then.
And she really didn't have to go very long between getting turned down by Debling.
I do feel bad for Debling.
Yeah, well, he can marry Cressida. That's fine.
I guess so. We're supposed to feel sorry for her now because her house is like a mausoleum and
right.
her parents are unpleasant.
And her dad doesn't want her to hang out with Eloise, which I don't really want her to hang out with Eloise.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine with us. Thanks there, sir. No, your word does not seem to be law with your women folk, but
no.
I don't know. The only reason I would say fine, let Debbling marry Cressida is because he's going to be gone most of the time anyway. It's not like he's going to settle down for a happy life in a little cottage with her. He's going to be.
He's going to go somewhere that it takes him a year just to get there.
That's right. Enjoy the house, honey. Mm-hmm. Enjoy managing the estate.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
No. But also a good match for Eloise if. But I don't think we're gonna dispatch 3 Bridgertons in one season.
No, she definitely is gonna get her own season for sure.
One would hope. There's like in there now. Benedict has a romantic interest here.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's interested in marriage.
I don't
this
think
lady.
so. I think she's made it clear what she's interested in.
Yes.
And he's like, "Whoa, okay, if you insist."
Right. What did she say to him? Wow, now I'm not gonna remember. But
was it with the ballet or daytime?
Well, there was the ballet, but I'm talking about when he came to her house and I'm not interested in courting or flowers or whatever it was that he.
Get up here to the bedchamber, you.
Right.
No.
I brought you flowers. I don't want stinking flowers. That's not why we're here.
Yes. The Bridgertons, it's always helpful to tell them exactly what you need them to do. And it does seem like we're continuing to head for a romance between Ma Bridgerton and the brother of...
Lady Danbury's brother.
Danbury. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, fine. Gives her something to do.
Yeah.
Distract her from what her children are up to.
All of her children.
Probably a good idea. Do we know why the little boy broke his arm? Or did that just...
Yeah, I don't remember.
Either we're just supposed to believe that this is such a chaotic household that little boys are breaking bones all the time, which is, with eight kids, 2 of them now out of the house, that happens. Right. Or like the actress who plays Eloise, he broke it in other circumstances. Right. What the heck? We'll put a sling on it. Nobody will question it.
Exactly.
He's a kid. He fell out of a tree. What do you need to know?
Right.
He doesn't have much to do.
No.
In the actual proceedings. But how many years do we have to wait for his love story? Oh my gosh.
I know, right? It's going to be a while. They're going to need a new actor.
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to see that kid rolling around with prostitutes, okay? I'm going to say it right now.
No, thank you.
No greater sign of love sickness than when you just can't work up an interest in the prostitutes, you know?
No, exactly.
You got to look at your life and say, maybe I'm in love.
Oh, Colin. Finally.
Oh, poor boy.
Getting a clue.
Well, there's the thing that concerns me is there's still 4 more episodes for complications.
I know. That's why I said it surprised me that
we finally got here. I want to stay here. I want to go back. I want to stay here. I don't want Mrs. Featherington to say, get involved in any way. I don't want Bridgerton brothers saying no. I don't want him to hear his friends laughing at him and say, well, maybe I don't want. No. Right. You've uttered your intentions. Stick with it, man.
You will stick to them, sir.
You will stick to them. Absolutely. Or there will be trouble. But, I mean, there's 5 or 6 other people that need to get married off, so we can just enjoy them being in love and then see what's happening with Francesca.
Yeah.
And whoever else they decide in the second 4 episodes needs to have.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We got Cressida. We've got the
mom.
We've got the
Mom
2.
Bridgerton.
Yeah, and we've also got the two who think they're pregnant. So,
oh gosh,
which I don't
that'll
think
be fun.
I don't think in that time and place you go around saying the word pregnant. I mean, they didn't even say that in the 1950s. You know, like it was all with child or confinement or whatever.
Yes,
like no, they're not going around blaring that piece of information.
One would think not. But, you know, it's all about getting an heir.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose your head. But and poor Mondrich is going to have to give up his club.
I know.
Because all the fickle rich men won't go there if he is a fellow aristocrat. Which is stupid. But
it is quite stupid. They all liked it before.
It'll be just Colin there drinking because he's a good friend.
And Benedict.
Yeah, just the Bridgerton boys.
Yep.
Just put Bridgerton over the name of the club.
Right.
Oh. You're laughing at us anyway. We might as well just stick with him.
Right.
Oh, Bridgertons. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, they have a mom who wants them to make love matches, so...
That's right.
They can get away with these shenanigans. Will be. I think she had an idea that he had feelings for Penelope, so she should be okay when.
Yeah, I mean that's why she told him about.
Yes. Good for her.
Yeah.
Very nice. And hopefully she will do the same for Francesca, even though it's going to mean ticking off the queen.
Right.
But she can see.
The queen can just devote all of her attention to her wigs.
Was that a fish bowl in her wig?
It was like a little carousel with swans swimming around.
Jeez.
It was quite something.
Whoever does the hair for this is having a good time.
Yeah.
The wig maker on this show is super psyched. I mean, we talked about the dresses one time. What a great job that is to make all those dresses. But the wigs, you know, just to wake up every morning and say, how can I make this even more ridiculous?
Right.
I know.
I need to go bigger.
Aye.
Bigger in terms of height and also just concept.
Exactly. How can I make this even more bonkers?
Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
Yes. Well, fortunately, since we have watched these one at a time like grown-ups, we can just jump right into the next season because it is coming out before our next episode. Yes, the next half season.
Right.
So, half seasons. I do not approve. No. But what the heck. So, that will be nice.
Yeah.
Not to have to wait.
Right.
As those who ate them up like a box of bonbons as soon as they dropped. Had to wait.
Yeah.
Sometimes waiting is good. Oh, well. So, we've been waiting all episode, Catherine. What is Catherine's Library Find of the Week? Lots of books in Bridgerton this week, you know.
That's right.
Like, somebody has a library, and some people were just enthralled by the books, and some people were like, books? Why would you want books? And then others were like, these books are not being loved enough, they're just collected.
Right.
So, do you have books that deserve to be not only collected but read? Yes.
So my first one is called I Can Only Draw Worms by Will Mabbitt. And it's a counting book. Yeah. But as you know, since he can only draw worms, it's 1 worm, 2 worms,
counting with
3 worms. It's
all right.
So fun. It's you know, the worms are doing different things.
As worms do?
Well, you know, just to keep it
interesting. Are they making themselves in the shapes of the numbers?
No, but they're just doing wormy things and in multiples of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, so by the end there are 10 worms?
Yes,
Aye.
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All
we're
right.
counting the worms.
That's a lot of worms.
But it's just a clever concept of, the counting book is of course a tried and true option, right?
You see 1 worms, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you see the dead body.
No. This is a children's book.
Too much Ripley for me.
Yep. So I just thought it was very fun way to do a counting book, and also it's one of those where there's a monster at the end of this book,
Yes.
or
I love that one.
don't read this book, or those kind of all those books that get kids to be like, no, you have to keep reading.
Yeah.
Kids enjoy subverting the expectations, so
They do. They do.
that I thought was
Monster
really
at the
fun.
end of this book, a classic, which I read to my children many times.
Right.
Possibly enjoyed it more than they did, but it's okay.
And then
It
like
allows
what's
for a
the-
great deal of emoting by the reader.
yes, and then there's the BJ Novak one. What's
Oh.
that one? Hold on, hold please. I'm gonna find it. The book with no pictures. And it really doesn't have any pictures, so that's a fun one.
Yeah, that was after my time, I think, if it was BJ Novak.
Yeah, it came out in 2014.
Yeah. But a worthy successor, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. So, and then to go with the worms
On the worm theme.
on the worm theme, because I feel like I've seen a lot of worm books, and then I couldn't find them when I was looking for them, of course. But one of the other cute ones is called "The Worm Family Has Its Picture Taken," where they're getting their picture taken, and one of the worm offspring is like, we need to dress up, you need to wear this, you need to wear that, and the rest of the family's like, oh, I'm just a worm, like I don't need to.
And I see there's a little baby worm in a carrier of some sort.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
parent worm, the daddy worm.
It's very cute.
Assuming the daddy worm is the one with glasses and the mommy worm is the one with the scarf.
Right. So I just also thought that one was charming.
That's very cute.
I'm not like a big gotta love worms person. But I'm not horribly, disgusted by them. So
If your dogs had been brought in worms, it would have been fine, right?
earthworms, yes, not other kind of worms that dogs get.
That's true, yeah. Ugh. Worms. Adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable
Worms.
worms.
So
not
cute.
those icky worms, not those slimy worms, not the ones that you have to be dewormed, but in fact, adorable worms with glasses and hair bows and,
And helping you count to 10.
Right. Right. See how thoughtful they are. Mm-hmm. Worms. Not
Cute.
the human kind of worm like Tom Ripley, but actual worms.
That's right. Earthworms.
Although by the end, I was sort of liking Tom a little bit. He has such an enjoyment, having lived in such squalid environs, has such an enjoyment for having a nice place.
Right.
All the scenes of him putting his things out, even at this crappy hotel, putting his things out, holding on to the ashtray, even though he should have thrown it in a body of water somewhere. Or maybe just got the same ashtray again, right?
Right.
Anyway, he appreciates things, unlike
He
Dickie.
does. He appreciates the finer things.
The finer things. And will do whatever he needs to do to get them.
That's right.
Marge, I say
So
again.
try not to stand in his way. It would really behoove you to either help him out or just look the other way.
Do not confront him near a body of water, I beg you.
No.
Or a heavy ashtray.
Right, or in the presence of a heavy.
Oh, that scene where she's asking questions and he picks up the ashtray and just casually walks over to her with it. And then she changes her line of conversation just because she's a twit. And he puts the ashtray down.
He's like, okay.
Won't be needing you today, sweetie. So close. Twice she came very, very close to
She really did.
an untimely death.
Yep.
But also not as clever as she thinks she is, because
No.
she did not, in fact, have it all figured out.
She really has no idea.
All right, moving on from archives of a TV show we can't stop talking about to our actual podcast archives, which everybody has stopped talking about, but we're going to talk about them again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go on a spin through the archives and see what we were talking about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and 8 years ago this week.
And the common thread here is like things that we do either professionally or semi-professionally that we have proclaimed that we don't want to do.
Yeah. Let's see, 4 years ago in plague times, we were talking about let's keep everything on Zoom, which is, you know, we used to go to meetings and stuff, but now we're doing them on Zoom and it's so much better. Can we just keep doing this? Every now and then I apply for a job and they say, would you be willing to relocate? And, you know, you have to work in the office. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Nope. Goodbye.
I'm only looking for remote work. I've been freelancing for a long time. I am no longer fit to be in human company. Everything that I do can be done much better remotely and via Zoom and via computers. You do not need me there.
No.
Especially for a job like copy editing, that quiet is a good thing and focus is a good thing. I do not wish to be in your office with no walls and workstations out in the open. I've seen offices these days. No. No, thank you. Let's keep everything on Zoom. Are you enjoying still Zooming even in this late stage?
Well, I mean, part of the reason I took the library job was because it required.
You wanted to be with humans.
I wanted to be in person. Although, you know, the real bummer of that job is that I have to go. You know, I can't be like, oh, I'm going to go visit my parents or my daughter or whatever and just do my job from there. I cannot do that.
Yeah,
so that is the big
it's so
drawback.
Convenient. Remote work.
So
I love that so much work didn't go back to being in person afterwards.
Right.
But
and we still we started doing a once a week family, like extended family Zoom during COVID, and it's now once a month, but we still do it. So
that is nice. I keep thinking I should go back to that because I did a few things on Zoom, you know, when that all started. I just got together groups of my friends who hadn't talked in ages to be together on Zoom. Why don't I do that once a month? Why did I do that once and then not do it again? I don't know.
Right.
It was like there was, at the beginning of the pandemic, it was like a big, you know, this is an adventure. All hands in. Let's keep connections however we can. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then after a while, it got to be, life goes on. We're just going to, you know, go back and do things the way we used to do them.
Right.
Except just online. So I should do that again, though. That was fun. We used to have parties. I should just like have Zoom chats on the same days we used to have parties.
Right.
We don't really want you to come over. We don't want to go clean the house and all that. But hey, it would be nice to see your face.
Yeah. We'll just chat.
Now that I'm paying for Zoom and it doesn't shut off after an hour.
Yeah, we do sometimes not the same extended family Zoom that's once a month, but periodic sibling Zooms. And we do use the free one, and so it cuts us off, and then you just call back.
Start another one.
Start over.
Right.
But, you know, the last one we did 80 minutes, and we were just like, oh, I can't believe it's over again. We went through our whole 40 minutes twice, and then we're like, okay, well, we're going to stop now. That's probably enough.
Yeah. It's fun, though. It's a nice way to get together with people.
Yeah.
And relatively low stress way to get together with people.
Right. And when you have 6 siblings, you know, like there were 6 of us, so it does take a long time just to get through everybody.
Right.
So
yeah.
So yeah.
You know, speaking of looking for jobs, I think 5 years ago, I was looking around for things and thinking, wouldn't it be great to be able to like hire somebody to fill out all these applications? Wouldn't it be great to be able to hire somebody to fill out all the forms for the kids? I would love to be able to have somebody to like figure out Medicare for me and just do what it is I'm supposed to do. There are people who want to do that, but I'm pretty sure they want to just sign me up for their plan. This would have to be an impartial person. And there's just so much stuff. And, maybe that's like a line of business somebody should go in. Maybe I should go into the business of doing that for other people and charge them a lot of money. Just like a parenting ghostwriter to write the notes to the teacher, fill out all the forms at the beginning of the year, fill out just every bleeping time you go to the doctor, you got to fill out this form. It's like nothing has changed. It's just paperwork. Paperwork's hitting me down, man.
Yeah. For sure.
I need somebody doing paperwork, and nobody else in my house wants to do it. And even if they wanted to do it, I would not be satisfied with it.
It would not be to your standard. No. It sure
I would have to look it over, and then I might as well just do it. Also, because I would say, will you do this? And they'd say, yeah, I'll do it. And then it would still be sitting there. I'd say, you can do that? Yeah, I can do that. And then it would still be sitting there. And finally, I would go, fine, I'll do it. And I was like, well, I was going to do that. Why are you doing that? We'll take some deep breaths. You talk about how you're dealing with this.
Well, I just think it's funny that, we both write for a living.
Yeah.
Or write adjacent, I guess, is writing adjacent. And yet we were all like, yes, we need someone else to do this. Well, it's just like everything else. When it's your own thing, it's so much harder. Like, if somebody else needed help, organizing or making a phone call or whatever it is, you're willing to do it for another person. But when it's your own stuff, like, oh, no.
It is exhausting.
It is exhausting.
The other day, this is apropos of nothing, but I took time out of my workday. I had this phone call to make, and it's like, darn it, I'm going to make the phone call. I thought I needed to cancel an appointment for something. And I called and I talked to the person, and it was a blood draw. And I said, what doctor is this for? I think the appointment this was for got changed. And they looked it up and they said, no, it's for this other doctor. And I said, no, that doctor, I always get the blood draw the day I go there. So I don't think it's for that doctor. Just cancel it. And then I called the other doctor to make sure I had an appointment for that day. And they say, oh, no, we need it 2 weeks before. So that appointment was correct. So then I had to sit on the phone while they remade that appointment for me.
Right.
And I'm like, this is like 20 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. And it was completely unnecessary.
Right.
I finally did something, and it was completely unnecessary. And I put two people and myself through bureaucratic steps that was not necessary because I'm stupid. So I'm never going to do anything from now on. I'm never going to make those phone calls. It's probably fine.
Exactly.
Oh, see, so I need somebody making phone calls. Would you say, nope, we're not going to make
they'd
this
be
one.
like,
This
no,
one,
we're not going to do
this
this
one off. Like, at least if I do something, I want to get some satisfaction from it. Like, well, that took out time that I didn't have, but at least I got something done. Good for me.
Right.
Instead, it was nope. Just being dumb.
Yeah. Well, and that ties to the episode from 8 years ago, which was about talking versus texting, which, back in those days, I guess we were more likely to actually make phone calls sometimes.
That was a long time ago.
Now, of course, we will always,
was texting considered rude at that time?
I don't know. You gotta really reach back in time to think about that one.
Yeah. But I love anything that can keep me from having to talk to people.
Yeah.
So, people complain about voicemail and it's like, no, I love that because then you can just hear what somebody wanted to talk to you about without talking to, and then you can leave a message on their machine, or you can send them a text, or you send them an email to resolve it. You don't have to talk to people.
Right. And
texting is so great. And Facebook messaging and all those things. Email, lovely email. I used to have to call people for this stuff.
Even the doctor's appointment, like,
Yes, patient portals. Hallelujah.
Patient portal. I needed
not
to
let me cancel that blood appointment on a portal.
Yeah, I needed an appointment, and I over the weekend I decided I'm going. I had this rash, and I'm like, I need to get this looked at. And but it was a weekend, and then I was working early Monday morning, so I wasn't going to be able to call. And while I'm at work that morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't need to call. I just go in the portal and make an appointment. And I could have done that over the weekend. Like, they don't have to answer. They just give you, like, would you like this time? They give you a whole slate of options. And I forgot that I could do that. But then I did do it, and it was great. Yeah, although it did give me a different name. Like, I thought I was making an appointment with one person, and then I got there, and they were like, "Your appointment with so and so is happening in 15 minutes." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know who either of these people are, so who cares?" But it was just funny.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Was that like an urgent care place, or not your regular doctor?
It was my regular doctor, but it was just like, if you are going at the last minute, you could see like a PA or a nurse practitioner or whatever. Yeah.
The urgent care place we go to is affiliated with the regular care place we go to, but it always used to be that if you needed to go to the urgent care, you just had to go show up and sit and wait. But now recently they've said they will take appointments online. So
this gave me the option to do urgent care or the regular office, and since they had same day appointments at the regular, I'm like, why would I go to urgent care if I could just go? So.
Oh, it's so nice. Sometimes it's so frustrating. I use the patient portal all the time for these things, and I love it. And it's so frustrating when you go there and for some reason you can't use it for that. And they say, please call our office.
Right.
And then you call the office, and while you're on hold for 20 minutes, they keep saying, you could hang up and use our online
why are you
services.
on the portal?
It's like, I wanted to. I can't. You said you couldn't.
Right.
Put me through immediately. Anyway. Well, we don't seem to have any trouble talking to each other, do we?
I know. Well, that's the other.
This podcast would be much shorter. And then we could just put the text right into the transcripts. Boom, we're done.
Yep, we're done.
No need for audio. Y'all can just read it.
Right. This would just be our version of a newsletter.
That's right. But what fun would that be? We have to talk to somebody at least once a week. This is our outlet.
That's right. But shall we go out on that note? That's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup. So next week we get 2 Bridgertons. Woo! Episodes 5 and 6 of season 3. 5 is called TikTok, and 6 is called Romancing Mr. Bridgerton.
Ooh, which I believe is the title of the book this
season is based on.
The Pauline story is based on.
Yeah. So we'll watch those 2. You can find all of our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Bye, Terri.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.